I met Tanya Johnson 8.5 years ago. She introduced herself to me at that point. She perhaps saw something in me that I had never seen in myself, because she came up to me and says, "You need to stay in this session." And I said, "No, I don't. I'm leaving. I'm going to go get some lunch somewhere. This is a box lunch and I don't want to eat it, and I'm not a fundraiser, so I don't need to be here." She said, No. Just stay. And now I'm on this stage 9 years later. So without further ado, Tanya, why don't you come on up, my partner in crime.
The real story, though, and what's really important, is that Susan and I met at a conference in a new parent session, and she had those big, red, glossy eyes, deer cotton headlights. She was scared to death, and I remember it so vividly. And it was so important because Susan and I, had no clue what we were doing when we first started this journey. We're not fundraisers. I think, Susan, you were a teacher at the time. I was a teacher. I had no clue what I was doing. And so the important message here is that we didn't know what to do, and we figured out what we were good at, and then we just started using it and doing it, brainstorming and kind of trying to figure it out and move along the way. So, 7 years, 8.5 years, I'm wrong. We're very different, actually. So I'm the social butterfly, and I've introduced myself to everybody. And if I haven't introduced myself to you, please come and find me. I want to meet every single person before tomorrow's over. And Susan one of her superpowers is that she's very, very organized. So she's got technical skills, she's an organized person, she sees things, and I'm completely opposite. I'm completely disorganized. I have no idea how to work a computer. And so we just kind of brainstormed, talked through, we've argued, we've cried, we've fought about things, and at the end of the day, though, she's a fellow parent, and when we have a bad day, we call each other up, and we say, "Today was a bad day, and let's talk about it." And so we've developed this amazing friendship, and I know everybody in here has their own friendships and connections, and I want you to continue that. Okay, next slide, because I don't touch computers. Okay, so this is my family on the right. That's Keegan. Everyone knows Keegan. Everybody says, "Where's Keegan? Are you going to sound just like Keegan? Are you going to present like Keegan?" I'm nothing like Keegan. He's an amazing speaker, so don't judge me. Clap when I say you should clap. And Dante's on the left, and then my little character, Denzel. And then this on the left is my lame attempt at being like Mother of the Year. You know, you have superhero. We had a superhero theme that year where Denzel was Captain America and Dante was Hulk and Keegan was Green Lantern. So anyways, I don't do manicures and pedicures. I have no girls. So I'm stuck with hearing all the superhero stories, all the bad guys and the good guys and the movies, and it's never ending. So last weekend, we were sitting down and talking, and Denzel and Keegan were telling me about this amazing, epic superhero movie. And so it's called Avengers Infinity War, and it grossed $2 billion. Raise your hand if you've heard of that movie, Avengers Super. So don't judge me based on my analogies and my stories here. You're going to laugh, and you're going to say that was perfect, okay? Because this is not my expertise. I'm going out of my comfort zone here. So next slide, please. So this is the movie, and basically it's made up of a group of superheroes called the Avengers, and there's Iron Man and Hulk and Captain America and Spider-Man and Thor and all these superheroes, and they come together to defeat the ultimate bad guy, Thanos. And apparently Thanos is this unbeatable because he's this big, smart, ugly dude who's an alien titan. So I'm learning all this, and I'm pretending. I'm like, "Oh, this is a great story. Thanks for sharing." And they're into the conversation. They're going on about who's the best superhero. Anyways, so the one thing I learned is that the superheroes, I think the next slide, actually. No, back up. No, back to superheroes, right there. So what I did learn about superheroes is that not one superhero could defeat Thanos and his army. And so they all had to come together to save the world and to destroy the most powerful villain in the universe. You see, a superhero has to realize what he's fighting for, before he can actually use his superpowers. And the most important thing is that somewhere along the way, he discovers his superpower, how to use it, and how to accomplish his mission. You guys kind of get where I'm going with this? And when I look out here today, and the way that our PWS community voices their concerns and shares their stories on social media, and we take action all over the world in different events that we're running so that our kids can live their life full and so that we can accomplish our mission to eliminate the challenges of PWS and find treatments. This is what I see. So next slide. Okay, that's an epic picture. That's the first time I've seen it. That's amazing. So every single person in this room are my real life superheroes. And there are so many superheroes amongst us here today, and we just heard one today. So I'd like to ask Teresa Strong to stand up, please. Or did she leave me? Teresa. And Teresa, you have to stay standing. I know, you hate this. So I don't really have to tell you all the work she's done. She's just presented it. But the reason why we're here today is because of her vision and because of the people that she worked with almost 15 years ago now to found FPWR and to bring her vision to life and to use her superpowers of science to kind of get things going. And there's so many more, so bear with me, and please stand up when I call. If you love science, or you've ever been an advocate reviewer for FPWR, or you're working for FPWR right now to help us find the answers faster, please stand up. Thank you, Lauren. Where's everyone else? Where's John? Is John in the room? All the scientists are in the room? No, you have to stay standing. You have to stay standing. If you've ever hosted a One Small Step walk anywhere in the world, please stand up. There we go. So that's a special one for me because I started that walk 12 years ago now, and it was one little dinky walk in Canada. And it was not until I met Susan and we talked about how to spread that, and that one walk that I had no clue what I was doing turned into 65 walks. And one parent described it perfectly. He said, Susan took that walk and she put it on steroids. And so it really turned into something amazing. So stay standing. If you've hosted or attended a Live Life Full gala, please stand up. Amazing. And I can't believe our next gala is 5 days away. And Mary, some of you have met Mary. She's hosting that gala. And I'll never forget meeting Mary a couple of years ago. And she had the same big eyes Susan had. And she kind of looked at me and said, back off, like I'm not ready. To a couple of years later, where she's now hosting this incredible event. And she's using her superpowers of connecting people in Washington and bringing together Tim Shriver and Bill Clinton. So that's absolutely incredible. And I think she's already left, but for those of you that'll be there, it's gonna be an incredible event. If you've ever hosted a birthday party, bowling night, poker tournament, sports pool, please stand up. I know, Dan, you're doing one, right? It's funny because a lot of you are staying standing because actually, some of you have actually ran more than one or two events, which is pretty incredible as well. If you have ever hosted a birthday party fundraiser, bowling, no, I already said that. If you've ever volunteered to share your talents as a writer, a graphic designer, a photographer, so thank you, Jamie and Andy, for all you're doing. The moments you capture in photography for all of our conferences and events are beautiful. Please stand up. Okay. If you've ever hosted a golf tournament, please stand up. Or attended one. Okay. And if you're here fighting for another rare disease, or you've hosted or attended my personal favorite event, I Got a Guy Sausage Festival, please stand up. Where's my Shafiang community? Are they here? Okay, now, if you've hosted Team FPWR or NYC Marathon or hosted Harvest for Hope, please stand up. Okay, now this one's important. If you believe that it's possible to eliminate the challenges of PWS and to find treatments for our loved ones, I need you to please stand up. Just that it's possible. Just that it's possible. Okay, now stay standing because, see, together we can beat PWS. And the more people that discover and use their superpower, the faster we get there. And so when Denzel was telling me the story, all I kept thinking about was, oh my God, Thanos is PWS. Where's that slide? Like, big, ugly dude. Like, that's PWS. So I just kept coming back to that analogy. And we are the superheroes that's going to defeat him. This room is filled with so much talent. So what I'm asking you to do is to choose to use your superpower. And if you ever need help discovering what that is, that's what Susan and I are good at. And so we'll put you to work and we'll help you figure it out. Thank you. You can have a seat. Okay, so Susan, you want to come up for this one? Next slide. So we have a few ways that we want to share with you.
My clicker stopped working.
Oh.
I think Thanos took it out.
Thanos took it out. Okay. So, yeah. So we're going to just briefly talk about a few different ways you can use your superpowers. Do you want to go ahead and take this slide? Yeah.
So there are so many ways that a person can get involved. I know that we often talk about fundraising as one way, but really putting your skills to work is just as valuable. We mentioned earlier, we have our photographers here today volunteering their skills for us. We've got videographers volunteering their skills for us. I don't know how many of you know Ali Shank. She is a great editor. I am not. She does all this work for us. And these are little things that really add up. We are a very shoestring budget organization. We put your dollars where they matter. So when people volunteer their skills, it is so incredibly helpful for us. Fundraising, participating in the registry is huge. You've heard us talk a lot about participating in the registry this week. It can take, you can spend half an hour, you can do the surveys, go in there a couple times a year. You don't have to do them all at one time. And I'll tell you, I've done all the surveys. The past study, I tried it first, and I was able to finish all of those surveys within 20 minutes. So it's something that's very, very valuable, doesn't take a lot of time, and you would be amazed at how much it's really going to be pushing things forward. Advocate reviewers, I think you mentioned, you heard us talk earlier. All of our grants are reviewed not only by scientific peers, but also by advocate reviewers, which are individuals that come from the Prader-Willi community, so their parents. A project can be incredibly scientifically sound, but if the community doesn't value that research, then it's not ours to fund. So these are all wonderful ways that you guys can get involved. And I suppose I can't tell you next slide, can I? I need to. Yes, we did it. Now, for those of you who've been coming up and asking me, and there's been a lot of you about, well, how do I fundraise? What can I do? The answer is really quite simple. Think of something that you enjoy and put a fundraising spin to it. We have a lot of great fundraising events that take place. The Lees do a wonderful bowling event. I think you may have seen the photo of Natalie riding a bike that she won at that event. It looked like it was a blast. So you just take something that you enjoy and you set it up. You can set up a fundraising page, which is super, super simple, and you can send it out to your network, and you can simply tell them your story, why this is passionate to you, and ask people to support your cause. Facebook these days is making that so, so, so incredibly easy. So for those of you who just want an easy in, an easy ticket, you want to do something really quick, there are options to do that. If you've done events before, then you can start looking at major events. The Live Life Galas have been amazingly successful. The I Got a Guy Sausage Festival, that was from Kim Nelson, I don't think she made it in here. But these are all just, again, fun events that people had a vision for, and then we just supported them to make them happen. So if you have an idea, you can reach out to any one of us, Tanya, myself, Sarah, and we can help get you started on those. You want to go to the next slide?
Yeah, and the key is that it's not just about fundraising. There's so many other talents in the room, and so we just want to kind of get everybody using what they're good at to help us with the common mission, because we got to kill Thanos.
So this is what you guys have accomplished. These are numbers from last year. So these are our audited numbers for you. This all started with three moms around a kitchen table who had worked really hard and raised $50,000. And that really, I think that story shows our roots, our grassroots roots. So this is a family-based organization. It's your efforts that make this happen. And all of us coming together have now been able to fund $12 million by the end of this year. Over 130 by the end of this year. It'll be 150. 9,000 donors in a year and 3.3 million last year. Let's see where we can take it this year, right? Because there's two things that are holding us back. There's two things that are our greatest limiters. One is going to be time, and one is going to be money. But money is something that we can do about.
And yeah, so are you good? So imagine like this is our starting point. So that blows my mind every time I see this slide, because our starting point was 50,000 10, 12 years ago. And so now we're starting at 10 million. That I didn't even think we could even get to 10 million. So starting at 10 million just means we're going to hit 20, 30, 40 sooner than that. And with that money, we're going to be able to see some real change. And Dante's not getting any younger, so I really need your help. Okay. This is my favorite part. See, our kids are worth it. They struggle to keep up, and when they do achieve something, it's that much more fun to celebrate, isn't it? And what I want to do is just take a minute to share Dante's superpower. And so he's taught our family about the true meaning of determination and perseverance. See, he's been trying out for every single sports team at his school since grade 4. The cross-country team, the track team, the basketball team, the volleyball team, and he'd bring home his forms proudly, and I got my forms, I'm signing up, I'm gonna try out for the volleyball team. And every team, I'm like, oh, he's not gonna make it, you know? So he came home one day, and it was last year, and so now he's in grade 8, and I got a call from his basketball coach, so typical school, grade 8, and the basketball coach said, hey, I've got some great news. Your son, what a great shooter. And I thought, oh yeah, you know, my younger son plays sports and he's in, you know, grade 6, and I thought he was telling me that Denzel made the basketball team for grade 8. And so I'm like, oh yeah, you know, thanks, great. And he goes, and he made the team. I'm like, oh, that's great, Denzel's gonna be excited. He goes, no, I'm talking about Dante. And so I was like, what? So like tears started flooding down my face, and it was like big family celebration. So anyways, after all these attempts, he finally makes the team. And not only that, Keegan goes to a tournament. And I want to show you this video that Keegan caught, and this is what makes him Dad of the Year. The whole school community will never forget this moment. So I just want to take 2 seconds to show the video. Oh, sorry. Wait for it. Yes, that's crazy man Keegan in the background.
Dante, go to the corner.
He's the man.
Amazing. Two again.
Okay, so I'm gonna cry again. I've seen that video probably 1,000 times, but that's a moment that our family is never gonna forget, and it really inspired the community. We got a phone call from the coach the next day, and the coach said, I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to coach Dante, and it changed my life, and I just want you to know your son is amazing. And so, you know, you get all those phone calls from school that are not so great, and that was just a great moment. So, wow. Every time I watch that. Okay, so before we get this party started, because we are in Vegas, I do want you to introduce yourself to someone that you don't know locally, so we don't move too much. And I want you to tell your person that you're meeting something about your child. I want you to brag about your child and their superpowers, because our kids are pretty awesome, and they do a lot of great things. So take a minute, stand up, walk over to someone you haven't met yet this weekend, introduce yourself, and then tell them who your child is and how amazing they are. Go ahead, stand up, walk around. What time is it? You know what? Let's just see how the sharing goes. We won't. Yeah. I saw it. Okay, if you could finish up and take your seats again. Ten seconds. Can everyone take their seats, please? Don't make me use my teacher voice. 7 seconds. Okay, thanks, guys. Have a seat. I know, we could go on and on and on and on.
Tanya, I don't think they like each other.
Yeah, they don't. That's what it's all about, though, right? Connecting with families. I mean, the research is great, but I really love connecting with everyone. So now for this unique, one-of-a-kind Superman t-shirt. So we got a prize. I would like someone to stand up and volunteer to share one thing, one superpower that you have that you think you could use, or maybe you've already used it to help FWR, but one thing you could use or one thing you could do to help figure out these answers and get some treatments for our kids. The first, because everyone's going to jump to the t-shirt because they really want this t-shirt, so they are going to volunteer to share. It's so hard, right? We can brag about our kids all day long, but when someone says, "What are you good at?" you're like, "I'm not good at anything," and you don't want to share. We got one? Awesome.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I would say I'm a really good project manager. I'm really good with details. So we have had an event for the last couple years at a brewery that does require a lot of details, so managing sponsors and prizes and tickets. And I'm just really good behind the scenes with all of that. So I don't love talking in front of a group. So I'm doing this for you, Tanya. That's how much I love you. But I'm good at that stuff. So I use that to organize the event.
That's incredible. Thank you so much. I feel like there's more people that want to share, because I feel like Amanda broke the ice for us. And Amanda, come get your T-shirt. Superman, hello. Mark, did you have your hand up?
I do. I'm Mark Greenberg. I've got a son, Zachary, who's 19. We've been sending holiday cards to not all the researchers, but many of the researchers around the world who are doing all these wonderful projects. And in some cases, I don't get any bad letters back, but I get some wonderful letters back saying, no one ever thanks me for anything. They don't actually say that, but they say, it is so nice to hear from families. And one of the people, one of the researchers said how he took it home and showed it to his kids and said, this is why I do what I do. And I know, I got to say, I kind of teared up when I got it. I know many of you sent out holiday cards. Print out another 20 holiday cards this fall and send out the cards to our researchers, people are presenting here, and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and it means so much to me what you're doing for my child. It's going to cost you an extra $10 or $20 for postage and printing. And I think most of us don't get enough thanks in life for what we do. And this faculty, they do, the faculty, the researchers, the scientists, the grad students. Some of the grad students are still here. Hi, Siobhan. And they do so much for us, and send the cards out with a note saying who you are, so they just don't think you're some weirdo from wherever you are, a weirdo from Denver. And I think it makes a difference in their lives.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, we need a few more. We got one, yay. Microphone, run, get your steps. These are great.
I can help the other USB 7 kids because I made homecoming clean at my school, and I love helping other kids around me that have special needs.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to just point you out, Cindy, because you inspire me every single day. And I did not plan this, but Cindy is dealing with her own diagnosis of MS, and she has a daughter with PWS. And Cindy has hosted a One Small Step walk, and she attends galas and conferences. And Cindy, thank you for everything that you do to help FPWR Canada and help move our mission forward. And every time I think I'm tired, I don't want to do this, I think of you. You truly are my inspiration. So thank you for everything that you do, and you're one of my superheroes. You got one more?
Come
Yay.
in. I think we have two more. Can we
These
do
are
two
great.
more? Okay, we'll start here.
Since my wife would never stand up and say anything, I just want to acknowledge her. She planned our entire One Small Step walk this year in conjunction with another family in Omaha. That'll end up raising over $40,000. So, super grateful. And on top of that, she manages a house with 4 kids, age 7 and under, and takes Paxton to all his therapies and doctor's appointments. And she's awesome. So thanks, Sam.
That's amazing. Yeah, that new parent session that we had, I noticed that the mom leading it was basically here last year with a 5-week-old. and she came and led the session, and she was a rock star. So thank you. You have many superpowers, and you have how many kids? Jeez, I can't manage 2, so thank you.
It's kind of funny because I'm kind of in the same situation. My wife's back at the hotel because she's sick. I felt more like a Batman. I'm like the sidekick because my wife, she works really, really hard. We're in a rural area where there's not a lot of help, and my wife is constantly going, constantly. So I'm more the sidekick, and she's more of the superhero.
Amazing. We have some pretty awesome dads in the room, too.
Hi, guys. I'm going to be yes, they are. Thanks, dads. All right, I'm a wild card here.
I'm scared.
I'm Katie Larson. I'm mom to Graham, who's 6. We live in Chicago. We've been hosting One Small Step walks since Graham was a year old with my co-host Heather out there. We've hosted 2 Live Life Full galas in Chicago, and we just keep chugging along. But what I think my special talent is I love to have fun, I love to laugh, and I love to tell jokes. And so I feel like I bring a sense of community together with everyone. And I love to hype up all of our family and friends when we have our events and when we all get together outside of here. I just like to bring the fun. So I feel like we come together a little bit more because I'm laughing. So
Absolutely.
Anyway,
absolutely. You are fun. Everyone. You are fun. Is there anybody else? It's hard to talk about yourself, but you know what? We're awesome, and we have so much to give. Renee, you're awesome. Do you have anything you want to share? I feel like you're so awesome. You need to share this.
Which Renee are you talking to?
You.
Oh.
Both of you. Both of you are awesome. We have 2 Renees that are amazing. But please, share away.
I feel like our daughter Peyton, we have a 6.5-year-old, and she unleashed our superpowers, right, by necessity. I think our superpower is fundraising. And it was a few years ago that we were at one of the conferences, and it was Sergio Veroslav that made a reference to a quote by Sidney Smith that said, "It's a shame to do nothing because you can only do little. Do what you can." And so that really resonated with Brent and I. And we were fundraising at that point, but we decided it was time to up our game for research.
And you did.
For Peyton. And so we started doing our own One Small Step walks, and then this past year, and it was this guy's idea, we did a golf tournament with a dinner event, and it was absolutely amazing. But I feel like Peyton has given us that superpower because we want to find a cure for Prader-Willi syndrome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I'm going to put somebody on the spot. This duo over here.
You go. Oh, all right. Well, I'm Julie, and Rachel and I started a Thanksgiving Day race called Harvesting Hope 5K. This will be our 4th year. And last year we had over 1,400, almost 1,500 participants come. So it's a little unique.
That in itself, right?
Yeah, thank you. It's a little unique because most of the people who come to our event don't know us or PWS or our kids. It's just become a community event, and hopefully, and we're excited to, sort of like, what Katie was saying, bringing the fun. We're trying to come up with something that we can give to the community that's also going to educate them and hopefully make our kids have a different and unique experience growing up, where their schools and their friends and their neighbors are going to know about PWS. Yeah.
I don't know if you're done. I was just going to say that the reason we decided to do that is that we come from my family's a little bit small, and so we would ask for direct giving every year. And the first year that we asked, we were blown away at how generous everyone was. But then you ask the second year, and then you ask the third year, and eventually people are like, well, I donated, a couple $100 when they first asked. And it just becomes hard to ask. And so for us, we were like, you know what, if we're going to keep fundraising, we're going to have to make this bigger. And we need to attract, people who don't really know us, but it's kind of like what that proverb said. It's like little by little we can do a lot. And so when we first decided to put this together, it was pretty overwhelming. We didn't really know what we were doing. I'm a runner and I've done events, but it was like we don't know really where to start. But we connected ourselves with Autism Speaks, and they sent us like what they use to put together long distance events, like a successful endurance event. So we kind of used that as a guide, and then we started just chipping away at it month by month. It had like a timeline, which was really helpful. And here we are 4 years later with, over 1,400 people coming to our event and the capacity to host thousands of people at this race. And, all those little dollars that come in, $30 a person, it starts to add up over time. And I just wanted to say that because when you think about putting together a fundraising event, it can just feel insurmountable. We already have so much on our plates. But, for us, it was just really about like longevity and putting out an ask where people may feel compelled to do something interesting and fun and make memories without necessarily like being on the spot every single year. Like they want their will to participate. So anyway, I just wanted to say that I think it's possible for anyone, regardless of your background. You just kind of chip away at it, and it worked out. So
yeah, and the awareness that you're creating when you're showing 1,400 people what you're raising money for, I mean, that awareness gets attached to every single fundraiser we do, and so it just automatically happens. And awareness and fundraising go together. So you can give out, 1 million brochures, but no one's going to read them. But if they're touched at an event and they hear stories and they see our kids, those are two powerful things together.
I have one other person that I want to call out who I think could offer something to us. I think Vani is a superhero. Vani, would you let us know what all you've done?
Yep, my son is 38. We live in Washington State, and he has volunteered for research since he was 4. He was part of the study to find out if people with Prader-Willi syndrome really were growth hormone deficient. And so it was simple to just, do an overnight growth hormone study. And I was going to say painless for me. He got blood work done overnight, but and he's been participating in different research studies all of his life. He loves it. We get to travel for free, and we're buddies. We're really good travel buddies. We like to do that together. Of course, a lot of the studies are just online surveys or sending him family history and stuff like that. That's just easy and literally painless. But we feel like being empowered instead of feeling helpless. We can do something about. And I've had a lot of people say thank you for the growth hormone therapy, but really everybody here. Everybody here has that potential to do something. I mean, one little overnight study, and a lot of people do a little bit of something, and it changes our world.
Thank you so much. And I think also when you run an event or participate somehow, our family and friends are dying to help. They want to help us. They see us struggle. They see the diagnosis. They don't know what to do. There's nothing really they can do because we're stuck in the day-to-day stuff. But then when you give them an avenue to support you and you say, hey, I'm running this walk, this is one way you can support, they often come up to me and say, thank you for providing me with this opportunity. And so they're out there. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for that link to come in through your email. And it's just a matter of taking that step and doing it. And so there's a exit survey that I think John's going to talk about. And when you're filling out that survey, just think about all of these superpowers that you've shared and all the ones that you possess, because there are so many in this room. And write those down so that we can contact you and help you harness it and use it and discover it, because every little bit helps, whatever your passion is, and do what you love. I mean, if you don't like to golf, don't host a golf tournament. So do something that you love. If you like dancing, maybe consider a big party. If you like community events, I love it, entertainment. So just do something that you love, and make it fun. And so I believe we're gonna call up John now. So thank you guys so much for everything.
So let's give Tanya a hand. We do strive every year to put together a program that's going to excite you and leave you motivated and excited about the research that you're making possible. So we really do want to get feedback from you. If you've downloaded the app, there is a link to the survey, and we're going to ask that all of you please do complete that survey, because we listen to your feedback and we use it to plan our future events. Now, I've been trying to be tight-lipped about the location of our next event, but I may have slipped it quite frequently because I'm really excited about this. We are going to be in New Orleans next year. And what makes this particularly exciting, not just the location, is that it's actually going to be hosted at the hotel of one of our fellow community members, superhero Kelly Robbins. Kelly. So please mark your calendars, join us next year, and to end today's wonderful sessions, I'd like to give you John Walter.
Well, hello, everybody. Am I on? Yep. Tanya, thank you for that presentation, and thank you all for all you do. We can't do what we do without you. We rely on you. My hope at this conference was to get to know some of you, and I've done that, and I'd like to get to know more of you. What I also would like to say is that, I hope that each of you now understand that you're part of a family, and that you're not in this alone. There's other people out there who can help you, who you can talk to, who you can reach out to. I also hope that we've given you a glimpse into the work that we're doing, the amazing work that our research team is doing, and the solutions that we're trying to provide to you now, and the hope for the future that we all have for your loved ones. I'd like to just close by acknowledging some people. So it takes an amazing amount of work to put on an event like this, and I'd like to acknowledge Susan. She's the master-in-chief coordinator of all this. Of our team, Melissa Damond, Sarah Peden, Jackie Misson. Without these people, this event can't happen. And I would say, finally, this year, I'd like to thank all our sponsors. They help us make this a better event. They help make this a more enjoyable event. There's a lot of trials going on, so they're here. They want to talk to you about those trials, and we look forward to seeing you all next year. And please go back and be that superhero that Tanya talked about, and do what you can, and contact us and see how we can help you become that big superhero. So thank you. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your stay. Safe travels home, and God bless. Thank you.